Look at Wanda, ready to rock her big presentation. But first, lunch. Sweet Pepper's Deli. Delicious, celebratory, but is it quick? The Cobb salad. Tender oven-roasted chicken, topped with cheese. Prepared, plated, and served in 6 minutes? Is this for real? Well, of course. Well done, Wanda. Sweet Pepper's Deli. Yes, ma'am. Life is sweet.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather This Morning.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Thanks as always for tuning in here in Mississippi Live Weather. I'm sorry if you were trying to watch the 6:30. We had a few things going on, but hey, we're going to be live here at 7 and 7:30 this morning, bringing you everything you need to know to get you out the door. I'm meteorologist Maggye McCauley. We have a lot going on in the weather department, mainly on the ground already, right? We're not necessarily talking about anything else falling, but we got some problems on the ground this morning with roadways and for a few other different things as well. So here's a few things you need to know, especially if you're trying to get out the door this morning. Freezing fog has been setting up closer to the Tennessee state line. We'll talk about exact counties and places that are dealing with that in just a moment, but that's one thing. Another thing is the patchy black ice concern, right? So we're going to be talking about both of those. And another warm day ahead. And that's some good news. We want the warm days, right? I hope you have a cup of coffee and you're ready to go out the door this morning, or inside if you're sticking inside, like I hope you get to. But overall, we want the warm days, right? We want the warm conditions to melt everything away. But here's the thing that takes place. When it warms, the sun melts that snow and ice, and then it refreezes overnight. It causes for some very bad conditions out there in the morning hours. So warm days ahead, a good thing, but not so good in the early morning hours when things refreeze. Extreme cold does return as we head into the weekend. So a few warm afternoons before we dip back down. Here's a look outside of our current alerts. Freezing fog advisory. This is not something we see issued by the National Weather Service in Memphis very often. It's when we have fog, just regular fog, right? But temperatures are below freezing, making for a freezing fog advisory. This is for Coahoma, Quitman, Tallahatchie, Yalobusha, Pontotoc, Lee County, and those sitting off to the north. So counties that are kind of touching the state line, the Tennessee state line, and those that are right after, kind of the ones that are dealing with this morning. And that's the advisory. Now let's talk about what's actually going on outside, shall we? Here's a look at your visibility out there. 0 miles of visibility from Clarksdale. The National Weather Service hit it right on the head, right? 0 miles visibility. You can see kind of that reddish color. That's what we're looking at overall. I'm going to go back. This is kind of the future cast of showing you what you can expect, but let me show you who's seeing it right now before we kind of get into that. Make sure I have my pauses set up that wanted to auto advance on me. So here you go. Here's your visibility. 0 miles from Clarksdale, Panola County, Senatobia, kind of the northern section of Lafayette County, New Albany, Holly Springs, Benton-Tippah County in this, Boonville in this as well, Iuka and Corinth. Again, that's that red showing up. That right there on our map, that's indicating very dense patchy fog across the area. And again, that's freezing fog. What is freezing fog? It's not something to necessarily be scared of. I know that's a very weird term. But freezing fog is normal fog when temperatures are below freezing. So it's able to freeze on contact with surfaces, roadways, bridges, trees around the area. Your car, when you drive through it, makes things just extra slick, already on top of what they already are this morning. So not great conditions to be driving in if you're sitting in the northern half of the state. Here's what we're looking at for futurecast visibility. This is going to be going down. I think it might get a little worse before it gets better. I think it could creep down a little bit further south from Clarksdale, Water Valley, Lee County, Monroe County potentially before we do see it fully dissipate as we head noon and on. So overall, what you need to know is it's just downright cold out there. We're seeing that patchy dense fog, and we're also seeing patchy, of course, black ice as well. Here's a look at temperatures. This will show you exactly what we're dealing with. Again, we're seeing those conditions, fog setting up on the northern half of our area, and temperatures below freezing. 18 Senatobia, 27 New Albany, 25 Boonville, 23 Tupelo. All of us, though, mainly below freezing out here, if I'm looking at all my numbers correctly. Almost there over in Atala County, but most of us starting off in the 20s. Okay, so that's one thing we're dealing with. I know I keep hitting on these two things over and over again, but we're going to talk about what's going on in the interstate in a second, and then you'll know why exactly I'm really honing in on this morning. That patchy, dense, freezing fog making for things extra slick, and then what else are we dealing with this morning that we've been dealing with over the past few mornings, or at least yesterday morning as well. We've been hitting on this. Hold on just a second. Let me go to this. This will show you kind of a better example, better visual. I'm a visual person. But this is also what we're dealing with, right? Patchy black ice. That sun melts the ice during the day, and then it's able to refreeze overnight when conditions are favorable for that, right? And temperatures in the 20s, yeah, definitely able to refreeze overnight. Then it becomes transparent on surfaces where you can't necessarily see it. So that's another thing we're dealing with this morning. And roadways have just been a mess. I'm going to show you an update by the DeSoto County Sheriff here in Northwest Mississippi. But across the board, things have been a mess. Even last night, they continue to be very messy with a lot of ongoing wrecks and vehicles on the side of the road, even this morning. So let me read this to you out here this morning. This is, again, the DeSoto County Sheriff put this out an hour ago. This is update on North Mississippi roads out here on the western portion of the state. I-55 at the Coldwater Bridge is completely shut down in both directions. So that bridge, obviously, we know bridges are colder than the actual roadways. Very icy out this morning, completely shut down in both directions. So if you're trying to get up north, you're going to have to go around the Coldwater Bridge to continue to travel northward. Eastbound lanes on Highway 78 at I-269 remain shut down due to an 18-wheeler blocking the road. Along with those two things, they're getting multiple reports of slide-offs, disabled vehicles, and accident. Black ice is covering the roadways, even through main roadways. So they're trying to treat roads, but travel is extremely dangerous. That's an update over there from the DeSoto County Sheriff, kind of just updating this portion of the state. Overall, I know most of us, a northwestern, northeastern part of the state that got all of this mess that's still sticking around, that's what roadways are looking like this morning. That's why we continue to discourage travel. If you don't have to, don't. So you don't have to have somebody come get you later, right? So I know some folks have to, but if you don't, we discourage it. It's just overall a messy go of things, especially in the morning hours. Let's talk about your ongoing forecasts after we got over everything that's already happening this morning. Let's get into what's going to be happening later in the day. Here's a look over in Batesville. Cold out there, temperatures in the 20s. West Point, a little bit of a better view out there. I think that Batesville camera actually is frozen. It wasn't yesterday, but it looks to be today. West Point looking nice out there, kind of a nice view, ongoing sunrise, beautiful blue skies overall. Power outages this morning still not looking great, especially in those counties that we mentioned yesterday, from Tishomingo County to Tippah County, seeing up to 10,000 people still without power, 16,000 over in Lafayette County as well. But all these numbers, again, I highlight are important. All of these counties that are going without power for some. Belzona, 2,000, 1,000 down in Kosciuszko for Atala County, Grenada County, 5,000, Bruce up to 200 as well. So all of these counties very much so important, but just highlighting the ones that are still seeing a good chunk of folks still without power and cold conditions still ongoing. Again, the good news is power crews have been really making great strides and efforts day to day. They just have a lot to get done, right? So we just encourage patience and to continue to check on those people you know that are going without power. The first 12 hours today, temperature is going to be getting warmer. Again, that's some good news. That's going to help these crews continue to get out and about on those roads that are hard to travel on. 35 by 11, 40s by your 2 o'clock hour, upper 30s by 5, into the 20s by 8. So a lot of us in the 40s today. That's some good news. 40s and sunshine. It's going to continue to aid in those melting efforts. It's just really packed in ice, especially here in Northwest Mississippi. That just takes a bit of time, but we're going to get more, again, melting ongoing today. Frigid air does return. Now, I told you it's going to be in the 40s today. That's good. It's going to be warm tomorrow as well. But eventually, we're going to be getting back to the cold. So here's Wednesday. Today, we're still seeing that Arctic air off to our east. Going into your Thursday, that extreme cold remains in the north and northeast. And we are still seeing temperatures above freezing out there on your Thursday. Here's the thing, though, as we go into Friday, we see that Arctic air weaken and continue to move off to the south. And that's going to be giving us a very cold weekend ahead. So very frigid air returns for your weekend. We'll have your full weekend outlook coming up next. We'll talk more through your 7-day forecast as well. Everything you need to know going over the next few days. That's coming up right after this.
Out with the old and in with the new. It's time to save big at Room to Room's New Year's sale. Store-wide markdowns 50 to 70% off. No tax. 48-month special financing. It's a new year at Room to Room Furniture in Tupelo. There's no place like home.
Some people judge a book by its cover, and if you're not what people are looking for, you're kind of like a reject.
School, it feels like everyone's staring at me and I'm just kind of not really a person.
It just feels hard today. Nobody was listening to me.
And I'll try to understand me more, and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at soundedouttogether.org.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Maggye McCauley.
Hey, welcome back into the Room to Room Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Maggye McCauley. Want to start off and just remind you about your visibility concerns. This has gotten slightly better. We got a little bit of an update in our system, but still seeing that patchy dense fog closer to the Tennessee state line, still reaching in Lafayette County, Oxford, Holly Springs, up in Corinth, Iuka as well, still seeing up to 0 miles of visibility over in Tunica as well. Again, patchy dense fog across the area, coupled with temperatures below freezing, causes for what we call freezing fog that can kind of cause a layer of ice on the surfaces that it's around, including your vehicle if you drive through it. So if you're driving on the northern half of the state, especially closer to the state line, areas like 72 this morning, you just want to be extra cautious as this is setting up. Should be dissipating as we head over the next hour or two. So at least it's not going to be around all day, right? Here's a look over in Aberdeen. Nice conditions out there this morning if you're not dealing with that patchy freezing fog, at least in terms of our sky conditions. Beautiful blue skies, sunshine again around the area today. Temperatures in the low 20s, so still starting off chilly, not as cold as we have been, but still cold out the door this morning. Same story over in Crenshaw. This camera is frozen, but that view of that roadway is what a lot of roads still look like this morning, especially in Northwest Mississippi. That's what I can account to because this is where I am over in Senatobia and Tate County. This is what a lot of our roadways still looked like yesterday, even with the melting efforts, hoping for some more progress today. And I know a lot of us are hoping for that across North Mississippi. As for your school bus forecast, some of us are heading back to school today, especially the further south you are, where you saw maybe less impacts. Drop-off temperatures for those kiddos in the 20s, pick up in the 40s. So yes, they're going to need the coat out the door, but we are warming into the afternoon in the 40s, and hey, we'll take it, right? 40s, even upper 40s out there. Now, the further north that you are, yes, you could try to hold on to the 30s from Senatobia, South Haven, Holly Springs, Corinth, trying to hold on to those 30s this afternoon. Overall, though, above freezing with sunshine is going to help aid in melting across the board here in North Mississippi. 44 in Bruce, 45 in Houston, 47 even down in the Golden Triangle region, 47 down in Macon as well. Now, these temperatures are warmer than we've been seeing, and we are glad for it. We need temperatures above freezing and some sunshine, but look at our normal for this time of year. Supposed to be 54. So even though we're warmer than we have been, we're still seeing well below average conditions across North Mississippi and across a good portion of the United States today. Cooler than normal temperatures across the central United States all the way over into the East Coast. So all of us sitting below where we should be into your Wednesday afternoon. And we're going to continue to be there over the next few days as well. Going into the afternoon hours, again, a lot of sunshine taking place noon and on. That patchy dense fog will be out of our way and we'll see a lot of sunshine. Again, can't stress enough how much we need the sunshine to continue to melt that snow and ice pack away. Going into your evening hours of Wednesday and then into your Thursday, yet again could see some patchy fog across the area. We're going to be keeping our eye on that. And then a few clouds as we head into your afternoon hours. Still going to be seeing some sunshine taking place to your Thursday and temperatures above freezing. So another good day where melting can take place. High temperatures over your next 7 days, 40s out here today and tomorrow, even middle 40s across the board out there for your Thursday. Some of us even could get into the upper 40s. So good news, warmer conditions do set up as we head a little bit later on in the week. And then the cold air filters in. Temperatures on Friday back in the 30s, Saturday back in the 20s, Sunday back in the 30s. So even though we do get a little bit of a warming trend over the next few days, cold air comes right back in for your weekend. That's why we encourage you to keep checking up on your people. I know all of those crews are going to be trying to make restoration efforts in terms of energy across the area and power all the way through Friday and even through the weekend as well. But we know it's going to be getting back cold. So I just again, can't encourage you enough. Keep checking on your people you know that are continual without power, especially when conditions do drop back off into your Saturday and Sunday. The good news is that does not stick around forever. Temperatures go back into the 40s as we head into your next work week. Your temperature outlook as we head further on into February does look, though, below average, even though we're kind of seeing kind of that ongoing dip and uptick of temperatures. We're still looking overall at below average conditions setting up here across the board as we head over the next 7, even up to 10 days. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. You might notice one thing, there's no rain chances on it. It is definitely very dry out there, and I don't think anybody is going to complain about that. We need dry days and warm days to help crews get out and about and help those who need it. So definitely not complaining about the 0 rain chance over the next really 7 days. However, right outside of this 7-day forecast, we do see some widespread rain return into the middle portion of our next work week. So rain is on the way. It's just kind of sitting right outside of the 7-day forecast. Again, another cold weekend ahead with temperatures dipping back in the 20s and in the 30s. I encourage you to keep checking up with us. We'll be live again at 7:30. We'll take another live look of where those visibility concerns are this morning, if they've gotten better or worse for some. We'll talk about that all coming up at 7:30.
Growing up, Gabe was naturally curious when he began to discover weather. Gabe just didn't want to know what was happening, but he wanted to know why it was happening. Gabe became fascinated with tornadoes and it impacted his life. He wanted to pursue a career in meteorology. Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.